Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA. 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention and God bless America.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
We at WOCA recognize the importance of voting. That's why we're offering all the candidates an opportunity to come on the air and explain why they feel you should cast your valuable vote for them. On Friday, August 27th, Manal Fakori and Kent Gwynn, two candidates for mayor of Ocala, will be in studio. This information is brought to you by WOCA The Source and hopes that you will vote and that this will help in making your decision come September 21st.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back to Ocala Talk. Monday. Barry Mansfield and the incumbent Brent Molliver from District 1 Ocala City Council will be on the show this morning at 10:30, answering questions that hopefully will help you make decisions on who to vote for if you live in the city. Also at 10 o'clock this morning, the Shriners will be here talking about the Shriner Rodeo that is very integral to our community every year. And it's back on this year. Looking forward to that interview as well. I asked Joe about what his thoughts were about coming back from Vietnam because Jason White, who I'm buddies with, good friend of mine, he's the Florida director of the Birdwell Foundation for PTSD and suicide prevention. He organized an informal coffee and banter chat sessions. They're held at the Ocala Marion County Veterans Park on Fridays. And the situation about Afghanistan come up. And he said there's a lot of emotion in the veteran community, mixed emotion. Many veterans are wondering about the intrinsic value of what we did, why we were there for 20 years. White, a former Marine combat veteran, he was in Iraq in 2005, 2006. He said veterans are questioning the worth of their service and then everything in life and life itself as they watch the U.S. withdraw from the 20-year war. And that's the issue. Is some guys some guys and girls with PTSD, when they see how this is being handled and the abject failure that this withdrawal is, and how people are being left behind, which is completely against any military code. Why were we there? was my time there? Did I do anything good there? It gets you questioning what you were there for, who you were there for, and then it gets you questioning about what you did while you were there. And somebody with PTSD, that could lead to a moment where suicide is contemplated. And 22 veterans a day die from suicide. Let me give you that again. 22 veterans a day die from suicide. And so this is a real issue for people with PTSD. You know, it's when you have that many people that die from suicide every day, and 22 is a lot, folks. That's one every like hour and 10 minutes, I think. These kind of situations are not good for those kind of veterans with PTSD. By the way, if you are a veteran in need of counseling or someone to talk to if you're contemplating suicide, you get 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support from the Suicide Prevention Hotline for Veterans, called the Veterans Crisis Line, 800-273-8255. Then you'll just press 1. You'll speak to a trained counselor. So if you're a veteran and you're contemplating or you're thought about suicide, call the Veterans Crisis Line at 800-273-8255 and press 1 and speak to a trained counselor to help you with any thoughts you may be having. But that's one of the things, you know. I went over there. I spent 2 years over there. I stepped on an IED. It blew my leg off. I'm now had my leg amputated above the knee. Was it worth it? They're abandoning what we accomplished. The Taliban, which we fought to keep out of control for 20 years, took over within 3 days. Why did I lose my leg? Why did I go over there and kill people? Am I a bad person? What's going on? You know, and these are the kind of thoughts that veterans really have go through their minds. So if you know of a veteran or you know of anybody that you think might, you know, be suffering from veteran PTSD, get them to call the Veterans Crisis Line, 800-273-8255. Press 1. They can talk to a trained counselor to help them with these kind of thoughts. And that's what Jason White was talking about, was it gets people to start questioning, what did I accomplish while I was in Afghanistan as a military personnel? Did I accomplish anything while I was in Afghanistan? Did I lose both my legs above the knee for no reason? Because what we went to rid Afghanistan of, the Taliban and terrorism, within 3 days of us starting to pull out, they're in control of the whole country again. These are serious questions that veterans that have fought in Afghanistan are asking. And rightly so. These people, these veterans went over there following the orders of their superiors, did what they swore to do and were asked to do. They come home, they deal with the after effects of what they saw, what they dealt with, what they went through, and then to see administration just say, all right, we're done. Deuces. With no plan of action of how to get out of Afghanistan, no plan of action on how to bring back people. And then for the administration then in an interview say, this complete debacle, we have zero responsibility for it. It's not our fault. Joe Biden said in an interview on the Today Show, do you think you have any responsibility? I have zero responsibility. Google Joe Biden zero responsibility. You'll see the interview. It's just an abject failure with how this is going down. And I hope veterans with PTSD, don't choose an out that they don't need to choose. So call 800-273-8255, press 1. Talk to a trained counselor to help you if you're a veteran having suicidal thoughts, because we don't need to lose any more 22 a day is way too many. We need to lose none a day. Good morning. You're on Ocala Talks.
Hey, Tom, it's Mark, your other Marine.
Hey, Mark. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. And listen, I've been listening to you for the last few minutes after I just dropped my granddaughter off at school. I don't think you've said anything that I disagree with. And everything, pretty much what you're saying, are accurate observations. I would just share with you one of the things that's floating around on social media, and I'm not saying that Tom Schmidt says this, but that the Americans that usually are last to leave are supply and logistics people. Now, one of the criticisms is we had to send Americans back in, and actually the U.S. Marine Corps' Raiders, the U.S. Army's Rangers, and the Marines have a new group which have been around about 20 years called FAST companies. They're Fleet Anti-Terrorism Security Teams. Now, they're not large. They're actually in competition with a Delta Force size operation, or they also compete for Navy SEAL operations. But FAST companies, and we also have what are called MUSOC operations. MUSOC is Marine Expeditionary Unit Special Operations Capable. All of those people that I've mentioned, not the SEALs and not the Delta, but the Raiders and the Rangers and the FAST companies and MUSOC are all a part of the withdrawal. They're trained in advance for legation withdrawals, for embassy withdrawals, for diplomatic emergency. It all goes back to 81 when the Iranians took the embassy.
The embassy, certainly.
So, right. Go ahead, Tom.
No. I know all these well-trained teams go back to the 44 hostages that were held for 400 some odd days in Iran.
Right, 444 days, wasn't it? I can't remember, something like that. But the point is, and I've actually been a part of some of those groups, in and out of them. It's just like any other operation. You're not going to be there for 20 years. My only political observation is the agreement for the withdrawal was preset by the previous administration.
Yes.
Now, is this being mishandled from an optics standpoint? Yes, optics, it looks really bad for the president. My bottom line, and I'm sorry for the young Marine, Mr. White. He knows I love and care about him. He's a fellow Marine. But what my bottom line is, as a fellow American, Tom, to you and to any Marines and veterans is, so far, knock on wood, we've not lost any Americans. And their job is, the people I spoke of earlier, their job is to get the Americans out safely. Now, it's not over yet.
No.
And it could go bad, and I hope that it doesn't. And there are probably people who wouldn't mind seeing it blow up in Biden's face. I know that.
There was a big firefight at the Kabul airport this morning between Taliban fighters and U.S. fighters.
Well, they haven't determined whether it was Taliban yet, but yeah, and the Germans were involved.
The Germans were involved as well, yes.
Right, and whenever Germans start shooting, they're usually on our side, and since 75 years. But any case, I think the bottom line is to execute the agreement. Whoever established it, your comment about LBJ, I agree with. I was aware of that, and so there's a lot of things. And of course I'm older, but it's no surprise to me. Now the country, and I'll hang up now, Tom, but the country did not jump on Reagan when my 241 primarily Marines were killed in Beirut. I think
100%.
We pulled together as a nation.
You're right. We pulled together as a nation when that happened.
Right. And as a Marine, I know the difference between Beirut and I know the difference between Afghanistan and Benghazi. I didn't want to see American civilians killed in Benghazi, which is 11 hours away by car from Tripoli, where the actual embassy was. I didn't want them to die. They got themselves killed working for a paycheck. They didn't work for the government. Were they contractors? Yes. Should they have been killed? No. Do I, as a soldier on active duty, want to go die for a civilian contractor? Absolutely not. I will die for a private in the Army or for a sailor in the Navy. I would die for an Air Force person that's down or a Coast Guard person. But if you're over there for a paycheck, whether you serve the country or not, you're there for a paycheck. I'm there for my nation. And there's a difference between a soldier and
a private contractor. Oh, of course.
Right. And I care about all Americans, but I am not going to send a live Marine to go get dead bodies from Benghazi.
My concern,
for a paycheck.
My concern, Mark, is, and it is what should be the concern, is it's the question, the optics, like you said, because the optics of it don't look good, and then it gets it gets veterans that are back home with PTSD, that have lost limbs, that have lost loved ones, their best buddy got killed over there, saying, what the hell was I even there for? And by the way, this isn't just Joe Biden's administration. This goes on Donald Trump's administration, Obama's administration, and George W. Bush's administration.
Correct.
Okay, it goes on all of them.
Correct.
And
That's correct.
you got veterans questioning why they were there, why they lost limbs. Then they start having these suicidal thoughts. And now we got veterans dying, 22 veterans a day. That's 22 too many in my estimation. And that's some of the fallout that's going to happen from this debacle that's the pullout of Afghanistan.
Yes, and I agree. This can increase people's questioning of their whole life existence. And I as an American, I'm sorry about that, but you don't have to know history. That history's not always going to repeat itself. But we've gone through this as a nation. We did not say we're not in Iraq. That was not successful. And you, Tom, as a civilian that's pro-military, I respect your love and your interpretation of patriotism, and I truly do, and I like that, and that's why I continue to listen to you. And your boss is a veteran, and he did, and you mentioned that when you talked to Joe this morning. My thing is about the 22 Americans a day. That number's not necessarily that high right now, but it has been that high in the past, and that's all very unfortunate. And once you jump in that uniform and raise your right hand, as Marines would say, baby, that's round down range. You're gone. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you object to going, your career is finished. So whether you're an officer or enlisted, it's an unfortunate circumstance. We were 20 years there. We lost the war in Afghanistan. The Russians got beat there, and if the Chinese go there, they'll lose too, unless they want to occupy it. So there's really not much left. The Russians are actually working with the Taliban right now, and I'll share that with you.
Putin has said he'll recognize the Taliban as government. Chinese have said they'll recognize the Taliban as government. I'm okay with that. By the way, I'm okay with the Taliban being a government entity over there in that country. If that's what the people over there deal with, they don't live here in America. What I'm against is I'm against anything that makes it look like we didn't do what we were supposed to do, or we did something half-assed, and that way it makes veterans question what they did, and then a veteran commits suicide, and then that's a problem. And that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm saying. I think that's going to be some of the fallout.
The guy that's in charge now of the Taliban met with President Trump, and that's not Trump's fault. Trump decided to meet with him. Maybe that was Mike Pompeo's suggestion. I don't know. Don't really care. That's also rounds down range. But that person in charge of the Taliban was the one that gave the authority for the executions in the last evolution 20 years ago, which is part of the reason we went in there. But we really went in there after Bin Laden.
Right.
We did not capture Bin Laden. Some people think he was released to Tora Bora and that we have the SOB, that we have Bin Laden. I don't know. I can't argue that. I don't know. But there are people that claim that were the case, and that the CIA had caves, shored up caves, not manufactured caves, but built to our safety standards to keep the gear in the mountains of Afghanistan at one point during that time frame in Tora Bora. I don't know. I've not been there, but I know there's some spooky stuff around the world that I can confirm. But but we got Bin Laden, and I'm sorry about veterans getting their heart broke, but they need to take a look at the history books because you're going to get your heart broke. It's a dangerous business, and you just gotta buckle down and not hurt yourself. And thank you. And listen, the Americans care about you, whether we're from the left or from the right. I'm proudly from the left, but we care about you. All right, Tom.
Thanks, Mark.
Love you, man.
You know, that just shows, Joe, that Mark and I, ideology-wise, I think he's not right. I'm right, he's wrong, ideology-wise. But him and I can have a conversation. We can agree to disagree. He's a veteran, a Marine Corps veteran.
Oh, yeah, I know Mark very well.
He supports the military and everything. it shows you how out of touch Washington is, because here are two people that are opposite ends of the spectrums, and we can have a conversation. But those morons in Washington can't have a conversation with each other without screaming at each other and then storming out and talking about how the other one don't want to listen.
The main thing is you're both Americans.
100%.
So that's the biggest. That's the first thing that goes up. You're American. And this thing
49 great states and then Connecticut.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wait. Where are you from again, Joe?
Connecticut. You got to have a leading state.
Wow. Well, you turned that right around on me, didn't you?
You know, the other thing is the flag, our flag.
It is our flag.
We don't pray to the flag.
We pledge allegiance.
We pledge allegiance to the flag. It's a symbol of freedom. Let's get that straight. So all you flag haters out there, get it straight in your brain. It is a symbol of freedom. It is a symbol.
Well, I just laugh at people.
It is not a saint. It is not a statue of a saint.
I laugh at people that say we pray to the flag. Those are the same people that don't understand you and I, and they say we pray to Mary when we don't pray to Mary. We say a prayer to Mary to ask her
to pray
for us.
Duh.
We're as Catholics, we're covering all our bases. We're praying to God, and then we're asking the woman who God put a baby in, hey, if you got his ear, could you ask him to help me out too?
There's a lot of
but
a
people
lot
don't
of
see it that
saints
way.
out there. Was Saint Martin with the eyes? I can't.
Yep.
Remember.
And then there's Saint Ignatius and there's Saint Augustine. There's all kind of saints out there. And when we pray a prayer to them, we're not praying to them. We're asking them, hey, we talk to God.
Do me a solid.
Why don't you do me a solid? You talk to God for me too.
Yeah. Now let's stay on topic. We got a little, but that's okay.
But that's what the flag is. The flag is not. We're not praying to the flag.
No.
We're
respecting.
Exactly. Now
it is a symbol of freedom.
Now, where you and I differ is you don't want to see anybody desecrate that flag. I don't want to see anybody desecrate that flag. Yeah. But if somebody does, that's their God-given right under the Constitution to do so. You don't see it that way.
Not in front of me.
Well, the Constitution, that pesky little thing called the Constitution, gives them the right to do so.
They can burn it, yeah, but not under law. Not under the law of the county, of the city. I mean, the country.
No, that's not against the law. It's not against the law in the country.
Under the
nope, not against the law.
Etiquette of the
nope,
flag.
Not against the law.
How to fold it, how it shouldn't touch
not
the
against
ground.
The law.
You shouldn't touch.
I know, but it's not against the law to burn it.
No, it's not in.
Nope.
They missed. Well, see, when they put all that in, no one would ever think someone would be burning our flag
or stomping on it or anything like that, like they do.
Now, what's the?
But that's their freedom of expression.
What's that famous picture? I've seen this. Whether it's true or not, you can correct me. All you Facebookers and emailers and interneters or whatever.
He said Facebookers.
That's what I said. Yeah. That's what I said. Facebookers. The Marines that put the flag up, that was at
Iwo Jima. And
then they said, was it the Taliban or something? Grabbed the old uniforms off the dead soldiers and made a mockery of them.
Mockery. Yep. Yeah.
Is that a true picture or not?
I don't know if it is. I don't know, but that's what it's been said. I haven't done the research.
But I've seen the picture and it's But everything you see is not true on the internet. That's for
right.
Sure.
I know that
Wikipedia.
Here's a little thing you didn't know.
Don't tell me what I don't know.
The photograph of the flag being raised at Iwo Jima.
Yes.
Actually, the guy that snapped the photograph.
Yes.
It didn't take the first time.
Oh, they had to reenact it.
Yeah. It was a reenactment, but it had actually happened that way. Yeah. Just a second, he had to photograph it twice.
Dang photographer.
Hey, it's 1940s. The camera wasn't what we know it is now.
Yeah, it was big and boxy and
a little different back then.
Different back then. In the 70s, it was different.
You know who that was on Iwo Jima, right? Raising the flag.
Oh, the Marines.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, my cousins.
Just so you know, Hank
Navy,
Whittier. I'm just helping Hank Whittier out here.
Navy and Marines.
I'm reminding Joe that Joe's group of the military got them to Iwo Jima, but the Marines actually are the ones that took Iwo Jima.
Who was first, Marines or Navy?
The Marine, thank you.
They were first?
The Marines were first because there was no Continental Navy. John Paul Jones created the Continental Navy in the 1780s. The Marines had been created long before then.
Oh, that's good then. So we're
cousins.
Don't
start. The old man was a retired Marine. Don't start with me. I know it.
Well, I have to know this stuff.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, the Barbary pirates. That was who the Marines fought way back in the 1700s.
Well, see, I have to ask the history buff over here.
Just saying.
I think you used to be a teacher of history.
I taught history for a while, and then I hated mamas and daddies so bad I had to get out because I was going to kill one of them, and so it's just best to get out.
Oh, that's like sports. When they stay in the back, rah, 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 rah.
The worst
That's
thing.
my kid's the best.
The worst thing about education these days, and it's the best thing about when I was a kid in education.
What?
Parent involvement. When my parents got involved and the teacher said, little Tommy did this, they believed the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Now you say little Tommy did this to
what?
a parent.
Mine?
Parent goes, well, that's because you're a terrible teacher.
Yeah, no.
Back in the day when little Tommy did something and the parents got told by the teacher, little Tommy got tore out the brakes by his dad. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Now, little Tommy gets in trouble. Well, it's because you're a terrible teacher. If you weren't such a bad teacher and discriminating against my little Tommy, what am I discriminating against? He's got only 9 fingers. One of them got cut off when he was 3 years old. You're discriminating against because he's got 9 fingers. Shut up.
Please. Hey, you know what I did over the weekend?
Hey.
A little bit, very short, because I know you love sports.
Hold on, you do nothing short because you're a tall man.
That's right, yeah.
What'd you watch?
All letters to Tom.
What'd you watch?
Little League Baseball.
And there we go. Now we've covered Little League Baseball. Coming up next, we're going to talk about
He cuts me nothing.
Well, Little League Baseball doesn't even count. The international teams aren't there this year.
Yeah, but it was good to watch.
Doesn't count.
The enthusiasm was there.
They're
Not the paycheck.
Bunch of little brats running around there.
No, it was pretty good.
That's why I don't have any little brats.
I watched 10 minutes of it.
Well, that's 10 minutes more than you should have. Anyway, coming up next.
Who?
We're going to talk about the Shriners Rodeo, Joe.
Get out.
That's
Get out of
That's what I'm
town.
telling you should do. Get out.
Get out.
Oh, it's your radio station.
Thank
Never
you.
mind.
Nice try, though.
We'll be right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for Farmer Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Don.